Hello there, this is Stephen L. Sears, writer-producer for Xena Warrior Princess, here for the Babbling Bards. Anything you want to know about Xena, any discussion about Xena, anything Xena, you're at the right place with the Babbling Bards.
Well, Xenites, love is in the air. On this episode of the Babbling Bards podcast, a podcast made by Xenites
For Xenites.
We're your happy host. I'm Trista.
I'm Liliana.
And today's episode,
A Comedy of Eros.
Eros, which is a play on the William Shakespeare play, A Comedy of Errors. Ah! We get quite a few firsts in this episode.
Okay.
Well, not really. Well, maybe. We have a last. This is Carl Urban's last episode as Cupid.
That's Cupid, yeah. I like Cupid.
I like Cupid too.
I like,
I can't stand Caesar, but I like Cupid.
I like Carl Urban playing Cupid, yeah.
He looks so spunky.
He does, with his blonde, spiky hair.
And then, we got first and only appearance of baby Bliss.
Yes.
Who is the love child of Cupid and Psyche. Who Liliana pointed out to me. I don't know what I was thinking last week. It is not Alexandra Tidings that does the voice of Psyche. It's actually Susan Ward. So, minute correction to our last podcast.
Oh, you said that on the last one?
I think so. The last one or the one before.
I know you said it to me the other day, and I was all like, I don't think
so. I think I said it on the podcast.
I don't remember.
Because I think I told you it cracks me up that it's supposed to be Psyche, but they use Aphrodite's voice, and it's not Aphrodite's voice. No. I noticed that, like, when we were rewatching. I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, it's...
Because for some reason, I kept hearing Alexander Tidings' voice in my head. I don't know why.
I don't know. But yeah, when you said that, I was like, I don't think so.
No, her only interaction with Cupid was in For Him the Bell Tolls.
Was that the only one?
Yeah. Because this is the last episode with Cupid in it. True story.
I don't remember.
That's...
I'm bad about remembering stuff.
So it was Susan Ward, not Alexandra Tidings, that does the off-screen voice of Psyche.
Susan Ward. Why does that name sound familiar?
It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't sound familiar to you?
No. Okay.
You're thinking of Susan Wood?
Okay, probably.
Not Ward. Susan Wood is the singing voice that Renee O'Connor lip-syncs to.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, Ward, Wood, sounds the same. Okay.
The phonics are the same.
So,
yes.
So, I got a question for you.
Okay.
So, the one that plays Psyche, Susan Ward.
Yes.
Connect her to Buffy.
Oh.
I know you can do it.
Well, I'm trying to think of other stuff she was in.
Mm-hmm.
She was in that... No. Yeah, she was. She was in Make It or Break It. But that doesn't help at all. I got it.
Got it.
I think.
Okay.
So, she voices Psyche and Xena.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
She also played one of the extras in the soda shop on Swan's Crossing, which starred Sarah Michelle Gellar, who played Buffy.
And there you go.
I have those episodes. I'll have to break one out and show you.
You can connect anybody to Buffy or Xena.
Well, I wouldn't have been able to if I hadn't remembered her from Make It or Break It, though. That was an old, Family Channel show about a gymnastics team.
Good job.
I can't even remember the character she played on it. It was such a lame series. But, Marla, my best friend in Georgia, she loved Make It or Break It.
I never heard of it.
She played, one of the girls' moms.
I don't know.
I think. We have the reappearance of Anthony Ray Parker in this episode as well. Anthony Ray Parker played Bacchus in the episode Girls Just Want to Have Fun. He also plays Mephistopheles in Haunting of Amphipolis.
I'm all like, I don't remember who he is. Well, duh, because he's always got all his makeup on.
And, well, he's the one that plays Pinellas in this episode.
Pinellas. Which one's that?
The big dude that Xena tricked Draco with. That came in with a letter from Draco saying, "Oh,
Okay.
you've offered us an Amazon queen."
Oh, okay. That's right. Okay.
And then he is a trick hat actor
Uh-huh.
in Xena because he also plays well, crap, it left my head. Oh, he plays the Deliverer in the episode The Deliverer too.
Well, that's why I didn't recognize him, because
of all the makeup.
All the other ones, he's got different faces on. Okay.
Because, see, I figured, in the episode The Deliverer, I thought that it was just Martin Saucus made up.
That's who I thought it was.
It's not. It's Anthony Ray Parker.
Huh.
I found that out doing research. I was like, what? Really?
Oh.
So, yeah. Oops! Bad form. That was one of my fun facts for the Deliverer episode. Oopsie!
Just forget you heard that.
So, the oopsie on this week's podcast was Tristan let the cat out of the bag. Oops.
It's okay.
So, let's launch into this episode, shall we?
Okay.
We've got to start just, summarizing episodes again instead of going
We could do
part
that.
by part.
So, okay. Well, we can do that. So, pretty much this episode, Bliss goes on a shooting spree with Cupid's arrows.
Maybe shooting spree's not a very good term to use,
Not
considering
shooting
all
spree.
the bad crap
Okay.
that's happened. Yeah. He practices archery.
Okay, there you go. Practices archery and all these people.
And our very first oopsie is in the very first scene.
Okay, what is it?
I showed you last night, and you didn't believe me.
I don't remember.
No. So, not only can you see the motor
underneath, I remember now.
Underneath the wings.
I didn't say I
that
didn't
are
believe
flapping.
you. I just said I couldn't see it.
She couldn't see it.
I could barely see it.
When he comes out from under his blanket and he's starting to take flight, you can totally see the fishing line holding him up.
I barely saw it.
Yeah.
But you had to pause it.
I had to pause it
and go
and go in
slow
slow
motion.
motion.
I'm like, hey, there it is. Barely see it.
But it's there. This episode,
Yes.
I gotta get their names. I gotta pull my notes up. So this episode, when it aired, given everything that happened, this episode caused an online group to be founded called the Gabrielle and Joxer Romantics Society.
Really?
Yes. And it was a place where Joxer fans and Joxer-friendly fanfic writers could go and, geek out together. And then Chris Mannheim, who wrote the episode, they call her St. Chris because she pulled in the Joxer and Gabrielle concept.
Uh-huh.
So, And you know how I feel about Joxer. I am not a Joxer sympathizer.
No, you are not.
He drives me up the wall. Sometimes he has some good moments, and this episode with all the arrows running amok, this episode had a surprising amount of subtext. I was stunned. I didn't think I'd be able to find anybody because you got Xena and Gabrielle both smooching all up on other people, and Gabrielle trying to take Joxer's ear off.
Where did I read or hear that? I guess Ted Raby's ear got really bruised up or something from Renee doing that scene over and over where she, yanks on his. I don't remember where I saw that.
Probably in one of your books.
Probably. I don't remember. But I'm oh, that sucks.
We should get her in a boxing ring with Mike Tyson. See which one takes the ear off first. So,
Anyway.
we got what else we got going on? So we got baby Bliss flying up because he doesn't want to go to sleep.
No.
No.
No. No, I don't want to sleep.
I don't want to sleep. He's so cute. And so Cupid has
him.
like, yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's pleading with him because Cupid just wants in on the action.
Yeah. Bribes him with a chariot and horses, and just when he thinks he's out,
That's my boy.
he's not. As soon as he leaves the room, Bliss grabs his arrows and his bow and poof,
Runs amok.
disappears. Yep.
And then we meet once again. Have we met them yet? We haven't
Not
met
yet.
them yet.
Not yet.
We haven't met them yet.
It's the Hestian virgins.
Praise Hestia.
Praise Hestia.
So in the Temple of Hestia,
Uh-huh.
you guys will notice a sculpture. It is a sculpture of a plant sex organ. And the plant reproductive organs. The big pink looking thing. Except that looks like it has all the little tulip buds on it almost. They're not tulip bulbs, but anyway. Keep a lookout for that sculpture because you will see it again. But anyway, I'll point it out to you again because it's also in the episode The Quill is Mightier. So that was my fun fact about that piece in the temple. It's like, boom,
Okay.
right there. Big plant penis.
Okay. I guess I never paid attention.
You
I
didn't,
don't.
probably. That's okay. I didn't know that until I started doing research on the episode, so I knew what to look for. So,
I do remember reading about that somewhere, though. But I don't remember seeing it.
I
Anyway.
could have shown it to you. Show you plant pornography. So then we kick over to Xena and Gabrielle.
Mm-hmm. They're talking about Draco. I guess Draco's planning on kidnapping the Hestians.
This is not the last time we see Draco.
No. We like Draco.
Yes. How many chakrams did you give this episode?
I don't know. I mean, I like it. It's not a bad episode. I liked it. I give it a 4.5.
I give it a 4.5 as well. I dig it.
Me too.
So, Xena and Gabrielle are all talking about how they're surprised that Draco's not in the village, or why there aren't other warlords coming to attack this village, because A, they have the Hestian virgins.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've got the whole riches of the village just begging to be stolen. And Xena's like, it would be stupid for anybody to go up against Draco. It'd pretty much be a suicide mission. And then in comes baby Bliss. And they start talking about, Gabrielle tells Xena, she's like, you know what the hardest part about being a Hestian virgin would be?
Giving up the chance to fall in love.
Yeah. Gabrielle's just in love with the thought of being in love.
Yeah.
Then we got our first clusterfuck of the episode going on.
Which one got hit with an arrow first? Was it those
The boy.
the two boys?
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
they're talking
one-
and he's like, oh yeah, give her those flowers. She'll like those.
Right. And then
Baby Bliss.
comes in, the one holding the flowers gets hit, and then he turns and gives the flowers to the other boy, and he's just looking at him like, what? These are for you.
Because the idea, I'm sure everybody knows the idea behind Cupid's arrows and Baby Bliss's arrows.
Mm-hmm.
But just in case there are some people that do not, you get shot with one of Cupid's arrows, and you fall in love with the first person you see.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everything's such a clusterfuck.
Yes.
What is it?
So, in the official guide
Uh-huh.
to the Xenoverse,
Yes.
it said the under the mystic connections for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you get hit with a gold-tipped arrow,
Yes.
it creates love. However, if you get hit with a lead-tipped arrow,
It's death, isn't it?
it's revulsion.
Revulsion.
Did you
I
know
thought
that?
it was death. I thought the lead-tipped arrows were death.
Well, according
Maybe
to this,
that's
it
just
says
in the
revulsion.
Roman Because Xena's Greek. Maybe I'm thinking Roman.
Maybe. I don't know.
Revulsion.
Revulsion.
Cupid just smacks him in the head. You're like, that's enough. Get over
That's
it.
enough. So, and then you have this farmer with his cow.
Oh my god. I felt so bad for the cow.
And so...
The farmer gets shot.
Was it the farmer or the other guy that was standing there?
The other guy that was standing next to the farmer gets shot, sees
Gets
the cow,
hit. Yeah. Plants a big smoochie on her.
and the cow be all, moo! Like, get the hell away from me!
That's funny. And then the next ones that got hit was,
This very rotund woman
yeah.
is standing out in the street, and she's getting ready to clobber this dude.
Because she thought that he, like, pinched her butt, but she actually got hit by one of the arrows. She goes to smack him, and then, yeah.
It was love at first sight.
And this whole time, Xena and Gabrielle are just chit-chatting.
Mm-hmm. And Gabrielle, of course, is on the side of love, and Xena's all like, it should be avoided at all costs. And we need to stay focused on why we're here. Mm-hmm. And then, the street is going amok. I don't understand how it's not, like, clicking with Xena and Gabrielle that, hey, something's really not right.
I don't know.
You got a dude chasing a cow. Mm-hmm. I mean, the boy confessing his love for another one. Somebody actually pointed out on one of the subtext forums that, they may have not thought anything about that because, they were presumptuously in a relationship at this time. So it would have just been like, oh, cool. People like us,
Yeah.
It's like, well, maybe. So, Xena and Gabrielle are talking about... They go back to talking about Draco. Mm-hmm. And this is where Xena is told, Gabrielle, it's reckless. It takes a reckless courage to defile a temple. And even more courage to go up against Draco.
Yeah.
And she says she can't think of anybody else crazy enough to try. And then in comes
Joxer.
Yes. Not the cat.
No.
The mighty.
And of course, he knew exactly where she would be. Because everybody does.
Maybe Solon taught him how to track.
Joxer never met Solon.
I know. I was being facetious, honey.
Huh? What?
I was being facetious. I was making a funny at your expense.
Well, jeez.
Like it.
Okay.
Okay. So...
Joxer's just like, so what's the plan?
Yeah.
Because he heard Draco was coming.
And for once, we do get an explanation of why he knew where Xena was. Because he's like, when I heard Draco was coming, I knew you'd be here.
Right.
I said to myself, self,
bet Xena will be here.
Mm-hmm.
And well, here you are. And then in comes Draco.
Yes.
And then Xena gets...
I freaking love Draco. I do.
And then Xena gets hit with an arrow. Uh-oh. And of course, the first person that she sees after getting hit...
is not Gabrielle.
It's not Gabrielle. It's Draco.
I was just happy it wasn't Joxer. So, she pops up and gives him a great big old smooch.
And Gabrielle is just like, what just happened?
Guess what that's called?
Subtext.
Because the way she's looking, she's just like,
Oh?
she's got a mixture of shock, horror, and a little bit of, ow, that hurts my feelings,
What?
You know your best part about this part here is the extras in the background when all the ad-libbing's going on. Out in the middle of nowhere, all of a sudden you hear this person go, I can't believe Xena kissed him. It's like, dude, you don't know her. You don't know her private life. Shut the fuck up. So he asks Xena, what he did to deserve the smoochie. She's like, oh, it's what you're not gonna do that earned the kiss and a lot more.
Mm-hmm. And then Gabrielle's just like convinced, oh, it's part of her plan.
She hopes.
She hopes it's part of her plan. But
she's trying to assure herself at this point.
She seems confused.
According to the subtext form, she's trying to assure herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. What's your take on that?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like calming yourself down of... Because
Yeah.
that's what they were like. They're like, she's trying to calm herself out of, oh, you know Xena loves you. She don't want anybody else. It's all part of
Yeah.
a big scheme.
That's part of her plan. You know, she may not have clued me in on it, but she does that sometimes. So...
Part of her plan, I hope.
Right?
So then we got a little sword fight sparring between Xena and Draco. Mm-hmm. And poor Xena is just getting heated up throughout this entire scene. So, I can't remember what happens next.
Well, they have their little sword fight there, and then Draco takes off back to his camp.
Mm-hmm.
Tells Xena, you know, that, you know, I'm warning you to stay clear.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gabrielle turns to Xena and says, you know, we need
We
to
have
talk.
to talk.
We need to talk, yeah.
Which is another part of that. You know, on the forums, they're all like, oh, that whole interaction between Xena and Gabrielle is subtext, because Gabrielle tells her, we need to talk, and Xena's like, huh? Oh, yeah. Like, I totally flanked.
And then you got the next scene where she's just punching away at the punching bag thing.
Yes.
You know, working off her
Frustration.
frustration.
Gabrielle's like, what's wrong with you?
So did she invent the punching bag too?
That's a speed bag.
Yeah, that. Boom, 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 boom.
And poor Joxer. Mm-hmm. Don't know how much he has to deal with it. Don't really care. So he gives Xena a recommendation of, you know,
Cold swim.
cold swim usually helps. Try the lake. And so Gabrielle, that's when she turns to her and she's like, you're hot for Draco? And she's like mad. She looks visibly angry, you know?
She's just like, oh, don't be ridiculous.
And Gabrielle tells her it's a relief. And Xena comes off with this offhanded, you know, I'm responding to the dark part of me that has a weakness for bad boys. And then she does. I got to give major props to Lucy Lawless in this scene because it's freaking hysterical. Watching her with the speed bag and then the way that she whips around and like starts doing the jabs to the air. It's funny. She gives such amazing facial expressions. Just enough to look batshit crazy, but not Fury's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, she's freaking... It was nicely done. Nicely acted, nicely done. And it was corny, stupid, you know? Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like stupid.
Right.
It was like corny enough you could laugh at it without feeling like your brain cells were dying. You know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Gabrielle tells her they can't stop him if she's so worked up over him.
And then, Xena's, you know...
She's advocating for Draco.
Yeah, you know, like, she used to be bad and she changed, you know, he can do the same. You know, she said, I did, so can he. Then she, like, jumps up and, like, kicks the bag thing, and then it, boom, it's Joxer.
That gave me a little happy. So then we go to Draco's camp, right?
Yeah.
And they're talking about, you know, they've got to...
They think Xena's gone crazy.
Well, in a way, because, you know, love can make you do the wacky, to quote Buffy.
Yeah.
You know? But they're talking about, like, Xena's past exploits. Like, you know, she tricked Zagreus into losing his whole army.
Yeah.
You know, and Draco tells him, you know, I know Xena like I know my own face. He said, you know, shouldn't we be preparing for something from Xena? And Draco tells him, you know, oh, I am.
Yep. Get some water for a bath.
Yes.
Because he's going to take a bath.
It's good. It's good for him. So then we cut to Gabrielle and Joxer, who are bickering, because that's what Gabrielle and Joxer do. Especially early in Xena. Till this episode, anytime they're around each other, they bicker. But Joxer's advocating for the plan. And Gabrielle's not worried about the plan.
Yeah.
She's worried about Xena.
Because she's never seen her like that, and then Then Joxer makes the comment that, oh, she's got a thing for us dangerous types. He always thinks he's like, you know.
He always thinks he's his brother. Right? He's no Jace.
Not Jace. It's the
No,
the
it's
other one.
Jace.
No, Jet.
No, Jet. That's right.
Jet.
Yeah. Jet, Joxer, and Jace. You're right.
Yeah. Jet's the bad one.
That wears jet black.
Yes. There you go. And Jace wears lace. Sorry.
And Jace looks fabulous.
Yes, he does.
I love that man. I love Jace with a fiery passion that burns deeply within my bones.
Okay.
I even like his hair.
Do you now?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, come on. He's in ancient Greece and he does the pelvic thrust. You cannot get more Rocky Horror in ancient Greece than Jace. I'm just saying. Gabrielle has, in the meantime, gone to dissecting Xena's fighting techniques. You know, she's like, she didn't press one advantage. You know. And Joxer's like, well, what do you think that means? And Gabrielle tells him, oh, it's trouble. Mm-hmm. And then we cut back to Draco's tent.
He's taking his bath, and Xena's right there on the couch, which...
Well, he's getting out of the bath.
Yeah. He knew she would be there.
Mm-hmm. So I
He
was
knows
taking the
her.
bath.
Yeah.
So here's
'Cause
the
he knows
question.
her.
Was he wearing the leopard print Speedo in the bathtub? Like he was when he and Gabrielle were trucking around each other in the bathtub and Liar, Liar, Hearts on Fire?
I don't know.
It was a joke, honey. He was supposed to be nude.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, I started laughing when I watched that scene last night because all I could think about was him clomping out of the side of that tub on all of his lackeys, heads.
Yeah.
And he's got the leopard print Speedo
Yeah.
on. That was what I had in my head. It was funny in my noggin. Well, what's next? Because he's telling her his plan. He's told her that, that he's planning to sell the Hestian virgins to the slavers.
Right.
And he's going to be the richest man that side of Mount Olympus. Mm-hmm. And then Xena's convincing him that he could do better.
And then she tells him to what is it? Teaming up with her.
Yes.
Something
Which is he's
what
always wanted to do.
Always wanted to do. Yeah. And then, Draco's like, well, the two of us, together, we'd be unstoppable. There wouldn't be a village or town that would stand against them. Mm-hmm. He's all like, but I thought you gave all of that up.
She said, I'm offering you a chance to ride with me.
Right.
Do
what? Good? Where's the profit in that?
Well, and Xena tells him, you said you tried to change once, and he's like, I did, and I almost got killed for his trouble, because we found out, remember, in Sins of the Past, when he went back home, his father tried to kill him.
Right. With what was that again? I don't know.
I can't remember what he tried to kill him with, but
yeah.
Xena tells him, try again. With me, profit's not always measured in gold.
Mm-hmm. He's all like, have to think about it, and then when he turns around, poof, she's gone.
How did she disappear so fast? Where did she go?
She has many skills.
I know, but she didn't jump through a hole in the tent like she usually does. There was no whooshing sounds.
No.
She was just gone.
She's just gone. She, poof. I have no clue. Then we're in the temple, yeah? The Hestian temple?
Well, Draco sends one of his guys out dressed in his armor as a means to try and divert Xena. But Xena's... Because he orders Kragan to get one of his soldiers to dress in his armor.
Yeah.
And go out to divert Xena. To distract her.
Yeah.
But she outsmarts him.
She's too smart for that.
Yeah.
So, we're in the Hestian temple.
And we see a virgin praying.
Praying.
In front of the flower sculpture.
Okay. Now you don't know who it is.
The sexy flower sculpture.
Okay. Now we're assuming that that's just, one of the Hestian virgins.
Like the priestess or something
but
like that.
it's actually Xena.
No!
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That would explain why Gabrielle and Joxer are guarding outside.
Yeah, they're outside. They get captured, of course.
And Gabrielle is, Joxer's like, well, maybe Xena turned Draco. Gabrielle's like, this is Draco.
Yeah.
He's a ruthless, flesh-peddling warlord who'd kill you as soon as not.
Uh-huh. And then you see him with the rope around Joxer's neck. Resisting, he dies.
She should have just let him go. But Gabrielle, being Gabrielle, could not have done that because,
No.
Joxer had done nothing to warrant death.
Yeah.
In her book.
Yeah, so she surrenders. Draco tells his guys
Round up those virgins!
round up the virgins, and then so they see Xena, which they don't know is Xena. They take off after her. She ducks into one of the rooms. They go out the door. She locks the door.
And then Draco
And
takes
then-
the veil off.
And then Draco, yeah.
And I thought I was being sacrilegious.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, we can tell you now. Are you sitting down? Are you prepared for it?
Yes.
Xena is not a virgin.
No.
Did you see that coming?
Maybe.
And he's like, you can't hide those virgins forever.
Mm-hmm. So apparently
And she tells him
they're all among the villagers dressed up like villagers. So
she's not hiding them at all.
they're in plain sight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
You are good as ever, aren't you? And she's like, better.
Mm-hmm. And then we're outside. Gabrielle and Joxer are tied up to a pole.
Why?
Because Draco tied them up to a pole.
Why?
Because they got captured.
When did he have time to do that?
Maybe he had his guys tie him up. Yeah.
What guys? Because all the guys ran off after Xena, and then he found
Maybe
Xena.
he left a couple of them behind to tie him up.
I don't know. I disagree. I don't think it was thought out clearly.
Okay. So, what does Draco say? Oh, he tells Xena, well, at least I didn't kill them.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And then Xena goes to untie them.
Yes.
And then in pops baby Bliss.
And then we got the slow-mo scene.
And Gabrielle gets hit with
first.
an arrow. Mm-hmm. And then, just when you think she's gonna lay her eyes on Xena.
Just when the entire lesbian community that watched Xena Warrior
Right.
Princess started getting all excited,
Joxer
Joxer
jumps in.
steps in the way. And that, my friends,
know.
is what you call birth control. Abstinence at its finest.
And everybody, when they saw that, they're like, no!
Really? And now you know where half the hate for Joxer stems from. 'Cause
You see her keep turning around, Xena, and then there she is, and then it's Joxer.
Gabrielle. It's funny. The one of the subtext forums was talking about this scene, and they're like, even though Gabrielle fell for Joxer, this is one of your largest subtext scenes, aside from the end scene in the entire episode. And it's like, really? And they're like, because when she gets hit with the arrow of love, the first person she thinks of that she looks for
Is Xena.
is Xena.
Yeah.
It's not Joxer. And I will tell you, the scene, grossed me out. To the point that I had to fight off gagging him in my throat.
Okay.
Because when he's combing his tongue
Yeah.
with his finger and spitting, you can see Renee O'Connor, wipe her cheek, and she does it in character.
Yeah.
But she, for real, got spit on her from Ted Raimi and was trying to stay in character while he was... Yeah. And it's like the seeing the spit spray I was just like, look, nope, not today, Satan. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Jeez.
So,
But, yeah.
Xena gives orders for them to take care of things until she and Draco get back.
Mm-hmm.
And Joxer tells Gabrielle, he's like, something's weird's going on around here.
And Gabrielle's just playing with his
The strings on his
string on
pasta
all-
strainer shirt.
yeah. And Bliss is just flying around laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Little mischievous guy.
He's cute, though.
He is. He is.
So, and then we've got a non-Xena and Gabrielle subtext area.
Mm-hmm.
And it was intentionally done. I mean, some of the subtext was intentionally done anyway.
Yeah.
But it was as close as they could get for the time slot that the episode aired to pushing the envelope towards naughty humor
Uh-huh.
as they could when all of their stuff's lying across the ground for Xena and Draco and just the voiceovers going on.
Yeah.
You have gotten better, and then you find out they're arm wrestling.
Arm wrestling.
They're not doing the hippity dippity. There's no horizontal tango going on.
No. And then...
But that's what they want you to think.
Uh-huh. And then the next scene, it's Joxer and Gabrielle.
Yeah.
Same thing. There's stuff is all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And Joxer's just teaching Gabrielle his song.
And this is the first time that you see Joxer without the pasta strainer shirt on, except for the episode For Him the Bell Tolls, in which he has on a poet's shirt. This is where you actually see what's underneath the pasta strainer.
So, he's teaching Gabrielle, the Joxer the Mighty song.
And then poor Renee sings so off-key. She does. She's adorable doing it, but,
Then you got Draco and Xena again.
Yes.
This time she's giving him a massage.
Yes.
Yeah.
A back massage.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, oh, you're very good. And she says,
I have many skills.
because we've never heard Xena say that before.
No.
And
Then she
Draco flips over. There's one we've yet to try. And then the hands move to a suggestive position, and Xena takes Joxer's advice.
She takes off running, and yeah. Next scene, right? Next scene, we find her just sitting in the lake,
Yeah.
taking a cold swim instead of
She's not swimming.
a cold dip
Yeah.
instead of a cold shower. Because Gabrielle goes to get some water and finds her there.
And then, well, Gabrielle hadn't found her yet, though, has she?
No, she finds her when she goes to go get water.
Get water.
But before that, you have her and Joxer. And her
Poor guy
biting
looks
his
so
ear.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
See, looks like he honestly looks like, am I being punked right now?
Because, he's got a thing for her. He doesn't let anybody know, but he does.
Well, it honestly came out of left field in this episode. It's like he found out she liked him for however long a time it was, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those, first female to ever show him any type of positive attention. He gave his heart away way too easily. Well, no, Meg showed him positive attention.
Yeah.
But who knows how far away from Meg they were. Maybe she forgot to leave the kitchen door open for him. You think?
I don't know.
And then she smooches him. On the lips.
He starts coughing, asks for water, and then this is where Gabrielle goes to get water and finds Xena just
Dipping.
Just sitting there.
She's just chilling in the water.
Look on her face. It's funny. But, yeah. She says that she took Joxer's advice.
Like,
She's
hard to
taking a cold
believe.
swim.
Like, hard to believe. And Gabrielle's like, oh, it's not hard to believe.
Joxer's full of good ideas. She's like, no, I said Joxer. She's like, I know.
Teaching me his wonderful song.
Uh-huh.
Joxer the mighty roams through the countryside.
Yeah.
And then Xena.
She knows something's up.
And she doesn't like it. Somebody pointed that out. They're like, she doesn't like that Gabrielle's expressing an interest in Joxer.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's like, dude, Xena, look, you cannot have it both ways. You cannot have Draco and Gabrielle. You know? Well, in some fanfiction stories you can. But those are under a special section.
Uh-huh. Xena's like, oh, you barely tolerate Joxer.
And she's like, that was before I realized I love him.
Xena's just like, what? No. Yeah. So.
And then she's like, it shocked me too, seeing how blind I've been. And then this is where she coins the phrase, love is blind. Which, in the Xenaverse, is actually a reference to the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. It's in the Merchant's Tale, I believe. And if Xena were in a real timeline and Gabrielle did indeed coin the phrase, then that would mean that Geoffrey Chaucer plagiarized it and took her line.
Okay.
But love is blind, you know. This points to that. So that was a nice little nod to one of the best things ever written.
Okay.
I like the Canterbury Tales. You never read them, huh?
No.
You should. You
No,
get a
I
kick
have
out
not.
of them.
Okay. But Xena thinks, it's all crazy because she can't be in love with Joxer.
Because he's Joxer.
She's Joxer, and Gabrielle's all like, are you talking about my man?
Like Draco is such a prize?
She's like, Draco's not like that.
Well, because
blood-
Gabrielle tells him, I'd rather be in love
Oh.
with Joxer than a bloodthirsty warlord like
Right.
Draco.
So he's not like that. He's changed. He hasn't changed.
Cue women screaming. And they do. Now, you know what? I'm going to ask you something.
Okay.
Okay. Xena hides the Hestian virgins in the town
Right.
as regular people.
Uh-huh.
Why the hell she ain't have them pull off their Hestian virgin outfits so that they couldn't find them?
I thought the same thing. I don't know.
It's like nobody needs that many clothes on in Greece. Well, unless it's wintertime, then it gets cold. But it was clearly
know.
not winter.
Maybe they're not allowed to take them off. I don't know.
I believe I'd find a way.
But, yeah, so the Draco's men have obviously found them.
Yes.
And they're dragging them all out.
And then Xena's trying to, tell Draco, I thought you weren't going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then in pops baby Bliss.
Yeah.
And Draco's gonna, end Xena.
And he gets shot with an arrow.
Yep. Because Gabrielle has popped in front of Xena to come to her rescue. And she's
Right.
like, you leave her alone, she loves you.
Mm-hmm. And then Xena, confesses, I do. It's true. If you'll just give me a chance, I'll prove it to you. Well, Draco's not interested in Xena anymore. Now, he wants Gabrielle. Dun dun dun.
There's got to be grounds for a musical in this episode. There just has to.
Then you have Xena.
Something's going on. You can't watch Gabrielle with this line's a little more subtext. Take it away, honey.
Huh?
Fill them in on the subtext for this part. Do it.
What? She just tells him you can't
She's telling-
want Gabrielle between you and me. She's a little...
And she shakes her hand.
Uh-huh.
And some might say that when she shakes her hand in the fashion in which she does, she's suggesting that she maybe not so much be after the XY chromosomes. It may just be double X.
So now Draco's got the hots for Gabrielle.
Mm-hmm.
Gabrielle's got the hots for Joxer. Xena's got the hots for Draco.
So what we have going on is a Midsummer Night's Dream thing. Minus the donkey. Oh, we had the cow.
The
huh?
cow. Got the cow.
So, in the same scene, we got an oopsie. And it's a funny oopsie. But you gotta make sure you're paying attention to see it. You remember? Because I kept pointing at you last night. I'm like, oh, watch! So in this scene, Draco's trying to tell Gabrielle to come with him. So he goes to grab for her, and Gabrielle takes her staff.
Oh, okay.
And she goes to swing it at Draco, and she hits Lucy with it one time. And then she swings it back, and Lucy ducks and guards her head again. And you can see clearly Lucy Lawless is not in character. She's not acting as Xena. She's acting like Lucy, oh shit, I'm about to get smacked by Renee, who's already broken stuntmen's noses. So, she's like, she has a whole duck and cover thing. So that's a little oopsie if you look back behind Renee O'Connor's shoulder when she goes to swing the staff.
Oopsie.
And then he tries to take off with Gabrielle anyway. Tells her she's a Spitfire. What is it?
Joxer punches him.
Yes.
Bad move.
Because Joxer's like, ow!
You hurt my hand. And then Gabrielle.
You broke my wrist bone!
You got Gabrielle. Oh, Pookie! Oh my god. She called him Pookie.
I know. She has clearly been taking lessons from Maureen in Rent. Yes, Pookie.
So they're getting all the Hestians into the temple.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting them all inside. You have one that dropped her scroll. Or her prayer scroll, right? And Xena's just like, oh, you'll get it later. Rushing them all in. And was it Joxer that turned around to grab... No, it was Gabrielle that turned around to grab the scroll. Mm-hmm. And then Draco...
No, Joxer ran out to get
it was Joxer.
To get the scroll.
Okay.
He ran out to get it.
He ran out to get it. He gets captured, and then Gabrielle ran out because he got captured.
Well, Xena and Gabrielle looked out the window and saw that he got captured.
Yeah, but then when Xena turns around, Gabrielle's gone.
Yeah, that's right.
And Draco got her. Right? Yeah.
We got another oopsie in this scene.
Okay. What is it?
It's where she's where Xena's going to go out, but the archers start shooting arrows.
Oh, uh-huh.
So, if you look at the door, when the arrows are getting shot, a piece of the paneling, when one of the arrows hits, falls off the door. So, keep an eyeball on the door.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No.
Why not? Are you broken?
Yes.
No. But it's when Xena comes out and she pulls a couple of arrows out of the door.
Uh-huh.
A piece of the wood breaks off with the arrow.
Okay. Yeah, I must not have noticed. Oh well. Okay.
Then Gabrielle tries to headbutt Draco. This is the ooh, I love cherries scene. And Draco's like, me too. It's the I love cherries scene. And Draco says, me too. And she's like, did I mention I'm a widow? Because, virgin would have meant she was worth more. And I think that's where she was leaning towards, hoping that, she'd get out of it. He's like, well, that just means I don't have to kill your husband.
Right.
Because Callisto did that already. Best thing she did in the entire show.
And then doesn't she, tell him that she's in love with someone else?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he wants to know who it is, because, he's gonna, kill him?
He won't hurt him.
Uh-huh.
He's a man of his word, which is true. He is a man of his word.
Yeah. Then Gabrielle lets it slip that it's Joxer. And he's just like, Joxer? That pipsqueak, I will kill him.
Well, you said you wouldn't hurt him. He's like, I won't. I'll cut off his head so he won't... so fast, he won't feel a thing.
Right.
And then we got Joxer in another tent.
He's tied up, and Xena comes...
To the rescue.
Xena to the rescue! And then this is where she, knows that something's going on.
Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, you've got it too, because Joxer's worried about Gabrielle getting hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And...
But he doesn't have it too. that's Joxer.
And Xena's like, you know,
She's all,
yeah, notice first I fall for Draco, Gabrielle falls for you, and Draco falls for Gabrielle.
yeah.
And he's still mind on Gabrielle. No, she could be in trouble.
Yeah, but Xena knows, well, if he's, you know, head over heels for Gabrielle, he's not going to hurt her. So,
But
Xena's
you're
not-
gonna get hurt.
Yeah, but Xena's not worried about about Gabrielle getting hurt. And then they start to try to
Put the
figure out
pieces
what's
together.
going on. And Joxer's just like, I don't know, love, chaos, you know, maybe it's Aphrodite. And Xena knows that that's not her thing. Because,
Well, Xena
She-
thought it might have been Aphrodite first, though.
yeah,
She's
but there's
like-
no vanity in it.
Yeah. It's hit and miss, and then she says it's like a child's game. And then in pops Draco.
Uh-huh. He tells Joxer, so you're the little piss ant my woman loves. So like, that's me. And then Xena clobbers him with a vase. He gets knocked out.
Sorry,
And
sweetie.
she's all sweet, and she just covers her mouth like, oh my god, did I just say sweetie? Because, you know, she's never used that word before in her life.
But she'll use it again in season 4. Not on Draco, though, on Gabrielle. We'll get there. But she's all, but he's so cute! And then she slaps her mouth again. And so Xena goes into Draco's tent and gets attacked by Gabrielle. Gabrielle's like, I thought it was Draco. Xena said, nope, he won't be out long. Let's go.
And then she's worried about Joxer.
Because Draco's going to kill him.
Right. Xena tells me he already left.
He left without me?
She tells, well, he had to, because he's on a mission.
A
She
mission, of course. What a guy. A prince.
Then we're back at the temple.
With Draco and a white flag.
Uh-huh.
Because he wants
Truce.
to call a truce.
Truce. He wants to talk.
Like, had the score of a decade, you showed up and ruined it and made me look bad in front of my woman. And then Xena, in the DVD versions, if you pay attention to it, she doesn't say ain't love a bitch. Ain't love a bitch was actually censored. It was censored on the original airings.
Uh-huh.
And it was censored in some of the DVD syndications that were released. But I can't remember what she says, though.
But that was on the one that we watched
No, it
last
wasn't.
night.
I don't believe so. Was it?
Yeah, I remember hearing her say that.
She said ain't love it, but I don't think she called it a bitch.
I think so. I think she did.
So upon a quick review, the DVD that we have does say ain't love a bitch on it.
I thought I heard that. So yeah.
But it was removed out of a chunk of the DVD releases, though.
Maybe because the set that we're watching was like the newer
Yeah,
one.
it could have been.
Yeah, the newer ones that were released.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe.
yeah, she does say that.
We got the remastered ones.
Yeah.
Liliana has the collector's editions, too, but we got the remastered Xenas. And they're supposed to be coming out with Xena on Blu-ray.
So we're gonna get that.
Well, if we get that, we'll get rid of one of the others. Well, I'll get rid of this one.
Why?
I don't know. Because you're going to want to keep the collector's one. Because, like, this one doesn't have all the behind-the-scenes stuff on it.
No. Okay.
And Liliana got all excited because she just noticed that there was subtext in this scene. So, take it away, honey.
So Draco says, you know, for her to give her Gabrielle, or she'll torch the place and everyone inside of it, the temple. And Xena says, you would kill the woman you love? And then Draco says, the question is, would you? I was like, oh!
She points out subtext right there. I'm like, it's in the forums.
Like, I never, like, really paid much attention. Jeez.
You didn't
I'm
pay much
terrible.
attention to that, see?
I'm terrible.
That's okay.
But anyways. So, yeah.
So then Draco tells her, you know, the code of honor you have wouldn't let you watch them burn. So they're going to do it the hard way. Mm-hmm. And then Xena tells him, you know, Gabrielle's not the woman for you, I am.
And I'll prove it.
You want the virgins? Take them, they're yours.
Go ahead. Take them. So, so Draco, do they all come running out?
Yeah.
They all come running out. Draco says, corral the virgins.
Yeah.
And then,
It's like, be sure they stay that way. Because Xena's pointed out, are you afraid your men will devalue them?
oh, yeah.
Like, make sure they stay that way.
And then,
He's like, why are you doing it? Xena's doing it for love. And he tells her, I'm in love with Gabrielle. And she's like, well, that's what I'm counting on.
mm-hmm.
And then in comes Pinellas.
Pinellas.
Yeah.
Pinellas.
Anthony Ray Parker rides in on a giant stallion.
Uh-huh. And then he sees Xena, and he's all like, is this the Amazon?
Yep.
So, Draco's
Like,
kind of...
nope, I'm Xena.
Draco's kind of, clueless as to what's going on here.
What? No.
So, apparently, Xena sent a note to
Adding
him.
one Amazon princess to the deal, signed Draco.
Right.
Actually, she was adding an Amazon queen to the deal, not princess. Technicality. Continuity, Chris Mannheim. Continuity.
So, the virgins come out,
Yes.
and then Pinellas is all like, well, where's the Amazon? And Draco's just like, there's no Amazon. And then...
Xena's like, well, what's she?
And then, well, he says that she's the one that faked the notes. The note, yeah. There's no Amazon princess. And then out comes Gabrielle in her Amazon princess outfit.
Yes. Headdress and all. Not the freaky mask. Just the headdress.
Yeah. So Pinellas is just like, well, she's magnificent. I'll take her. And then Draco gets all...
Over his dead body.
Right. Pulls out his sword. Touch her and you die. That woman is mine. And he's like, oh, so Xena was right. You are trying to double-cross me. And then they start fighting. The virgins take off running.
Mm-hmm.
The warriors take off after them. And then doesn't baby Bliss pop in and just start shooting arrows at the virgins? And then they start chasing after the warriors.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny.
Everybody's fighting everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And Pinellas gets Draco down.
Uh-huh.
And Xena stops Pinellas from getting Draco with a sword.
Right.
And she's like, didn't your mother teach you not to hit a man when he's down?
Yeah, and then you got the Hestians chasing the warriors, and they're all like, what are they, bimbos? Don't touch them, or Draco will kill us. So they're running away from the virgins now.
Where did they go? Oh, boys. Ollie, ollie, oxen free! Like, come back. We won't bite. Hard. They don't make very convincing virgins.
No.
I bet Leia wouldn't think they make great virgins. I bet she wouldn't.
No.
Don't play hard to get. So, we go back to... What is it? Oh, Gabrielle's trying to get him under control.
Yeah.
It's like, are you crazy? And then comes Draco. Gabrielle! Didn't it Draco?
Yeah. And then the temple, and everybody's running around chasing each other.
Then we have this thing. They use this in, like, countless deals that actually originated with a Beatles cartoon.
Uh-huh.
When they did I think it was 8 Days a Week, the cartoonized version.
I don't know.
Where they go in and out different doors, like somebody will go in the door and then another person will come out the same door. They've used it in one of the Beatles cartoons. They use it in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
They use it quite frequently.
Yeah.
And Xena pays homage to that in this episode.
Yeah.
Which is pretty damn funny.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Gabrielle, don't defy me! Draco's such a wine tit in this episode. After he gets hit with the arrow. So, we've got... What is it one of the virgins calls one of the soldiers? Doesn't she call him a woolly character? Come here, you woolly character.
Woolly character, and I mean,
there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. That's funny.
And then you got Joxer. in the hallway, and then somebody runs past him, and then out pops Gabrielle looking for Joxer, and then Draco's looking for Gabrielle.
Yeah.
And then Xena trips him up. Mm-hmm. It's like, Xena, I should have known. Show's called Xena.
And then
Of course you should have.
Yeah, and Xena's all like, well, so should I. You know, when Gabrielle fell for Joxer, me for you, you for her, I should have known something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she said, well, these feelings that we're having, you know...
Gods know they seem real.
But they're, you know, they're not.
And
then she's figured out that it had to have come from Cupid's arrows.
Yep.
And Draco's just like, oh, you'd say anything to win me, wouldn't you?
Yeah. He's like, I know how to feel. You know, I know how I feel.
Yeah.
Don't try to change me. And she's like, you're right, can't change the one you love. Wise up, Gabrielle can never love someone who lives from hurting others. Mm-hmm. Can't change her. If you want to win her love, you better change yourself.
Yeah.
That was a nice little spiel. Because that ultimately leads up to our climactic point of the episode. Well, our final scene anyway.
Yeah. So, poor Joxer.
I know.
He's yeah.
They smooch, and then Baby Bliss pops up, because it looks like he's gonna shoot Joxer.
Mm-hmm. Bliss pops up, and then in comes Cupid.
Mm-hmm. Caused quite enough trouble for one day, young man.
Yeah. Because, you know, him and Bliss's mother have searched all over Olympus for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's been, you know, down here causing chaos.
He gives his bow and arrow back.
Yeah, and Xena tells him it's about time you clipped his wings.
Mm-hmm. Like I was tied up.
Uh-huh.
Like, I owe you one, and she's like, yeah, if word ever gets out, you'd look kind of foolish. It's like,
what'll it cost me?
like, don't worry about it. Just make everything back to normal.
Right.
Starting with me and ending with the virgins.
Mm-hmm. Like, okay, deal. So he takes the, what would you call it, the love spell off of her?
Yeah. Touches her face, and she's like, that's it?
Yep. Easy come, easy go. And then,
it's like love. If you don't cultivate it, you can fall in love and fall out of love just as fast.
Yeah. So he goes by Gabrielle and Joxer, takes the love whammy off of Gabrielle,
Mm-hmm.
and then he thinks Joxer was hit too, so he keeps trying to...
Gabrielle's like, what's going on? A love so deep, few have ever known it.
Then he tries again, and he just keeps...
And Gabrielle's like, what?
And then...
A love so deep, few have ever known it. Keep smacking him.
Then Xena tells him, you know, forget it, because his, you know, he's for real.
For real.
He's like, oh, it happens. And then we have Draco come in, and Cupid's gonna, you know,
Take
it
the whammy off Draco.
But Xena stops him.
Yep.
And tells him.
Because she wants to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so Draco's like, you know, instead of hurting people, I'm going to try and help them.
Uh-huh.
You know, I only kill old people. Just men over 50. Livestock? I'll only kill looters and raiders. And then he's bargaining with Gabrielle. He's like, you know, I'll do everything I do will be for you. Don't forget me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Xena stops Cupid from taking the whammy off him again.
Tells him love suits him.
Yeah.
So
And Pinellas is like, you wuss.
he was.
And he just walks away. Well, he doesn't walk away. Draco punches him.
him. Yeah. Punches him. He's all like, I think I'm gonna like this helpful stuff.
Xena you can't win them all.
And then poor Joxer just got this look on his face,
Like,
he's so hurt.
you know, what do I do now? No. And then we cut to our closing scene, which is them at the campfire.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabrielle and Xena, we have a little bit of subtext here.
Uh-huh.
Gabrielle and Xena are both trying to comfort Joxer, who is heartbroken.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and you can tell he's upset, you know, because Gabrielle's going, back and forth with Xena. And she's like, I didn't know love could be so exhausting. And Xena's like, yeah, but it's worth the work. And Gabrielle tells her, do I hear a touch of romance in your voice? So Xena tells her, well, not if I hear a touch of I told you so in yours. So if you look on the screen when this exchange is going on after they both fall silent, before she looks over at Joxer, Gabrielle gives Xena this look. Somebody pointed out, she almost gives her a, hey, come here, look on her face, which I didn't catch the first couple of times through watching, but I did catch last night because I knew what I was looking for. So she cut Xena this look, and then she, says to Joxer, who's just sitting there like, can you imagine the two of us in love? Kind of makes you just laugh about it, and then she cuts Xena another look, and she moves off to leave the campsite. So somebody pointed out, she's like, watch. Gabrielle goes and ducks back behind a bush. Okay?
Okay.
I'm breaking this down for Liliana. This is the first time she's heard me talk about this. So Xena cuts a look at Gabrielle, and then she looks down at Joxer, and she feels bad for Joxer.
Yeah.
Of course, because she knows, his little heart's hurting. And even I felt bad for Joxer.
Well, she knows that his feels were true.
Yeah.
They were real.
So, there's no amount of Cupid whammy that could fix it.
Yeah.
So, she, puts a hand on his shoulder and,
yeah,
does this little solidarity comfort thing. And then Xena goes behind the same bush Gabrielle goes behind. And somebody was pointing out on the subtext form, they're like, why would they leave the campfire at night? They're not taking clothing to change into with them. Somebody's like, they're ducking behind the bush because they don't want to hurt Joxer's feelings, but at the same time, they want to rekindle their affections after they've just, mind fucked each other all day long. So, I was like, well, that's one way to put it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I necessarily agree with the bush thing, Yeah. Clearly you can see them both go behind the bush, and, why would they leave Joxer, who can't really defend himself, alone at night by a campfire? Why would you go away from a campfire anyway? So it's like, well, maybe they had to go to the bathroom. That was my thought. Maybe they had to go to the bathroom.
Together?
I don't know. Either way, it just sounds dirty. So, that was your least bit of subtext there. It's assumed in this episode that they duck behind a bush to rekindle their feels for each other. Okay. And we have a pretty clever disclaimer in this episode, if I remember right. Is it the cherry one?
No cherries were harmed in the making of this motion picture.
Well, that's such a relief.
You were worried about the cherries?
I was worried about the cherries. So, this episode wraps up season 2. But originally this episode would not have wrapped up season 2. Season 2 had actually gotten slated to be a 24-episode season. Instead of 22, the episode The Furies and Been There, Done That. Been There, Done That should have been the finale. Because I honestly don't know why they were going to close on that one. Somebody had said in an interview, I can't remember which one of the producers had said that. Maybe it was Nora K. Foster. I can't remember.
No clue.
But anyway, one of them had said in an interview that they wanted to end with Been There, Done That because they wanted to be able to leave showing the closeness of Xena and Gabrielle's relationship in the episode, because that episode ends with very much so a high note. So you have your fans feeling good. So when the rift part happens in the following season, they wanted to kick off with is it the Deliverer they wanted to kick off with? I can't remember what they...
I don't know.
I can't remember what episode they wanted to kick off with. Help me, honey, help me, help me.
I have no idea.
I gotta go in order in my head. It may take a second.
Okay.
They wanted to kick off with Dirty Half Dozen.
Ah, okay.
That's what they wanted to kick off with for season 3. But when they were looking back on it in retrospect, because Dirty Half Dozen was very much so a filler episode, and not a big boom attention-getting episode.
Right. Yeah.
They were afraid to open with season 3. They were with Dirty Half Dozen. They were afraid they would lose viewers, and they wanted to make sure that they had plenty of viewers because of the rift that they were creating.
So the Furies was a good episode to kick off the season with.
Furies was an awesome episode.
Yeah.
To kick off the season with. But they wanted to keep it within season 2 just to be able to show the strength and the growth over the course of the second season between Xena and Gabrielle's character, because they were tossing back and forth if they were even going to continue keeping Joxer in. But they did because they didn't want Gabrielle, after she was showing all this growth as a character, to have to go back to being the comic relief. Because they couldn't have done that without any element of comedy if the two of them were pulling against each other. Which started off in, of course, The Deliverer, and then continued on in The Dead. So, there's a season 3 will be packed with a lot of 1-2 punches. So anyway, I think that wraps it up for us, right?
Yeah, I think so.
No cherries were harmed.
No cherries were harmed. No. Joxer's feelers were harmed.
Joxer's feelers were harmed during the production of this motion picture.
They were.
You gotta give it to Ted Raimi. I mean, his character took a lot of crap.
Yeah.
I know I'm a serious crap talker about Joxer's character.
Yes, you are.
His character took a lot of crap, but Ted Raimi never one time undersold his performance in any manner of terms for the character of Joxer. I think the only area that was a little touch and go was like the fake WWF match. You know? But he was like over the top Jim Carrey crazy in that episode. Yeah. And it worked. Yeah. It was meant to be funny, and it was meant to be belittling to the mentality of the Amazons because they couldn't see past the nose on their face. And I mean, he has never one time let me down playing Joxer. Yeah. I mean, he's always delivered solid performances. It's just the character I don't care for.
Yeah.
You know?
He played him very well.
He did. Did a good job. So, I mean, kudos off for that. But his facial expressions at the end of this episode, I mean, you can't help but, you know, your heart just breaks for the guy.
Yeah.
Hurts my feelings. Little bit. Little bit.
A little bit. Okay.
Anyway, think we're wrapped.
So, yeah.
Our next podcast will be a wrap-up episode for season 2 where we cover things that we may or may not have covered. There may be some new stuff that we've learned since we did the podcast for the particular episodes, and we'll cover that. We'll do like a brief recap of each episode. Keep you guys up to date and prepare you for season 3.
Season 3 is coming up.
Yay!
Hey, the Furies.
The Furies.
I give it a 5.
You give it a 5? Me too. I like the Furies episode.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do it for this one.
That's it. That's all, folks. Alright, till next time, you guys go out, be a force for good. Do something good. Do a random act of kindness for a random individual. And happy chakrams. And we'll talk to you guys next time.
Yep.
Till then, Babbling Bards.
Out.
Out.